We've all had that random burst of motivation. You're lying in bed, staring at your ceiling, and you suddenly decide that starting tomorrow, you're gonna completely fix your life. You tell yourself, I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m., work out every day, get straight A's, drink a gallon of water, and never procrastinate again. You set up 5 alarms, you feel amazing about it, and 2 days later, you sleep through the alarms, forget the water, and end up scrolling on your phone for an hour instead of studying. Instantly, you feel like a failure, so you just scrap the whole plan. If that sounds familiar, you weren't alone, and you aren't lazy. The problem isn't you, it's the strategy. We've all been tricked into thinking that we aren't doing things perfectly. We shouldn't even bother. But what if trying to be perfect is exactly what's holding you back? What if the secret to actually getting your life together is just aiming to be slightly less messy? Welcome to episode 1 of Progress Over Perfect. I'm your host, and I'm really glad you found your way here. The name of the show is the only rule you need to remember: Progress Over Perfect. Throughout this series, we're going to figure out how to stop self-sabotaging, how to manage your time without losing your mind, and how to build a life that actually feels good to live. Today, we're kicking things off with the absolute basics: why self-development matters. We'll talk about why your brain is basically a sponge right now, why typical self-help advice usually fails, and how tiny 1% changes can completely rewrite your future. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Start with the phrase self-development. It honestly sounds kind of stiff, like a boring seminar you're forced to attend. But if you strip away the corporate buzzwords, self-development is just a decision to stop living on autopilot. It's noticing the things in your life that are stressing you out, like cramming for tests at midnight or always arguing with your parents, and deciding to build better systems to handle them. There's a very real scientific reason for why you should care about this right now while we're young. According to the American Psychological Association, or APA, the adolescent brain goes through an intense period of neuroplasticity. That's just a fancy way of saying your brain is highly adaptable right now. It's physically rewriting and shaping itself based on your daily habits, your environment, and your thoughts you repeat the most. Think of your brain like a fresh field of snow. Every time you walk across it, whether that's the habit of avoiding your homework or a habit of taking deep breaths when you're stressed, you leave footprints. The more you walk that exact same paths, the deeper the footprints get, until it eventually becomes a paved road. Right now, your brain's snow is fresh. You have an incredible window of opportunity to pave the roads you actually want. If you wait until you're 30 to start building good habits, the concrete has already dried, and it's way harder to break it up. But here's where the motivation fails us. We try to pave the whole city in one night. We fall into the perfectionism trap. We think if our notes don't look like those aesthetic study blocks or we miss one day of the gym, we failed. Perfectionism is a toxic mindset because it turns failure into an identity. If you mess up, you think, I'm a failure. But self-development teaches you to look at failure as just data. If you plan to study for 2 hours and only lasted 20 minutes, you didn't fail. You just learned studying for 2 hours straight without a break doesn't work for you. You adjust, and you try something different tomorrow. That's progress. So what does choosing progress over perfection actually look like in your real day-to-day life? Let's break down how taking the wheel changes 4 huge areas of your life right now. The first one is mental health and handling stress. Being a student right now is stressful, period. You're juggling grades, college prep, social media pressure, and your personal life. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, constantly emphasizes that building resilience and coping skills during your teenage years is one of the best ways to protect your long-term mental health and fight anxiety. Self-development isn't about making sure you never feel stressed. That's impossible. It's about building a toolkit so when the stress inevitably hits, you don't completely fall apart. It's knowing how to step away from your phone, clear your head, and reset. We all know that awful feeling of staring at a massive project that's due in 2 days and feeling so overwhelmed that you open a streaming app just to escape it. That frozen feeling is what researchers at Harvard University's Center on the Developing Child focus on when they talk about executive function skills. These are the brain skills that help you plan, focus, and juggle multiple tasks. By actively practicing self-development, you learn how to hack your own executive function. You learn how to look at a terrifying 10-page paper and break it down into tiny, non-scary steps. Suddenly, school stops feeling like a constant wave you're drowning in, and it starts feeling like a game you know how to play. Third one is relationships and drama. You know how sometimes you snap at a friend or a sibling, not because of what they did, but just because you were already in a bad mood? When you work on yourself, your self-awareness goes up. You start to recognize your own triggers. You realize, oh, I'm not actually mad at my friend. I'm just running on 3 hours of sleep. That makes you a way better friend, a better partner, and makes navigating high school drama significantly easier. The fourth one is physical energy. Running on iced coffee and 4 hours of sleep isn't cool. It's a fast track to burning out. Your mind and your body are on the same team. The National Institutes of Health, or the NIH, highlights that small, consistent changes to your personal routine, like actually sleeping a normal amount of time or getting some kind of movement in, massively improves a teenager's memory, focus, and mood stability. When you get your physical habits in check, you aren't fighting through a brain fog all day. Everything else just gets easier. Okay, so we know it's important, but how do we actually start without getting overwhelmed and quitting by Tuesday? We do it by making the bar for success so low you can practically trip over it. Behavioral scientists like the researchers over at Stanford University talk a lot about a method called habit stacking. Instead of trying to force a brand new habit into your day using sheer willpower, you just stack it to something you already do on autopilot. Like, let's say you want to stop forgetting your homework. Don't say, I'm going to be a highly organized student now. That's way too big. Instead, add it to something you already do on a daily basis. Like right after I brush my teeth at night, I will put my school laptop in my backpack for the morning. You're just adding a tiny caboose to a train that's already moving. This is the magic of the 1% rule. Just aim to be 1% better. 1% is putting your clothes in the hamper instead of the chair. It's reading a single page of a book. It's drinking 1 glass of water. It feels too small to matter, but if you do that every day, those tiny wins compound, and in 6 months, you won't even be able to recognize yourself. This brings us to the end of the episode, which means it's time for a challenge of the week. I don't want you to just listen to this and forget about it. Let's actually put it to the test. Your challenge this week is called the single percent shift. Pick one tiny habit. Keep it incredibly small. Maybe it's turning off TikTok 30 minutes before you go to sleep, or taking 5 deep breaths before you walk into your hardest class. Do it every day. If you miss a day, don't freak out. Just remind yourself, progress over perfect. Acknowledge that you forgot, you let go of the guilt, and just make sure you don't miss it 2 days in a row. See how it feels to just focus on one tiny manageable win instead of trying to fix everything at once. Let me know how it goes in the comments for next week's episode. Thank you for listening, and make sure to like and subscribe.